All right, welcome back to the Onebar and Lupagus show. I'm Onebar with Lupagus. A lot of Vikings news on this St. Patrick's Day Monday. We're going to dive into every one of those. Before we do that, hit that sub button. Let's get to 15,000 subs. If you're watching, you're not sub, do us a favor, hit that sub. Let us know in the comments how you're feeling.
Yeah, nothing more Irish than hitting the subscribe button on our channel.
Absolutely. Let's get into the most recent one. We already did a video on it, but we at least have to touch on it quick. Garrett Bradbury released. Vikings save a lot of money. Wish him the best. Hope he signs somewhere and becomes an all-pro. But the biggest thing out of this is, like, are the Vikings going to make a move? They're stockpiling all this cashish. They got a ton of money to spend, and they save another 5 point whatever on him.
Yeah, and I think another thing to take away from that is no one wanted him. Nobody wanted to even swap a pick for Garrett Bradbury's services, which is very sad and heartbreaking for him. But yeah, I mean, Vikings have money to spend. Where is it going to go? Are they going to pocket it? Are they going to save it? What's going to happen?
No, everybody on Twitter is like, they're doing something. Like the post-June cut, they saved so much. Like, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? Hopefully they do something. I would love it. And yeah, I mean, I can't blame anybody not wanting him. They knew he was going to get cut. He's not, it's not like Ed Ingram was still young. I get that trade, but Bradbury's gone. Everybody's very happy. Let's move on to some other news. Jeremy Fowler saying that he would bet that J.J. McCarthy is the starter for the Vikings. Like, everybody seems to be changing their tune, but Jeremy Fowler is fairly well respected.
It's the national media that's changing their tune. They're the ones pushing this narrative with Sam Darnold first.
Yeah, but they've changed it.
I know. And Aaron Rodgers next. It's like they can't let it sink in that J.J. McCarthy, every Vikings fan, every Vikings YouTube show, every Vikings Twitter account, they all know J.J. McCarthy's going to start. National media is not getting behind it. I'm glad they're finally starting to turn. It's about damn time. J.J. McCarthy's our starting quarterback.
Well, and he also did say that he doesn't think the Vikings will bring Rodgers in. Also, you look very small in this video.
Because usually I zoom in way too much.
I think you should. I think we want to see your pores. Hey, there we go. There's the no, keep it there. Keep it there. Wide receiver Rondale Moore, who everybody is wondering, is this the longest visit ever? What is happening? The Vikings announced that he was visiting on Saturday, I think it was. And Friday, then we never heard anything. And then all of a sudden, boom, he's visiting with the Bears. So he came here, he left. If I had a hunch, I'd say the Vikings didn't like what they saw in the old medicals. I mean,
yeah, either something
knee injury.
Something came up medically, or he's for some reason wanting way more money than he deserves. I don't know what's going on there. I was surprised he left without a contract. Usually those visits end with a new Minnesota Viking being announced. So Rondale Moore off to Chicago, where careers go to die.
Yeah, come on, Rondale. You know what? If you don't sign here, that's fine. Yeah. Don't go to the Bears, man. It's not going to pan out well. No. It's not going to pan out well at all.
Gross. Rondale.
Don't do it. Speaking of visits, Vikings bringing in Jeffrey Okudah today, the 26-year-old former 3rd overall pick. No news as of what's going to happen, but they brought him in for a visit. Again, a guy that there he is again. Another guy that was injured last year, hip injury, concussion. So the fact that he came here for a visit, they probably want to check him out. But what do you think?
I was excited when I saw Jeff Okudah. Yeah, we talked about that. Be kind of exciting. Former first, not just a first-round pick, top 5 pick. Was
3rd overall pick.
3rd overall pick. Then you look at those PFF numbers, and they're just downright putrid. They're putrid.
Well, I mean, if you watch, I mean, he's a huge bust. Like, they shouldn't be good. If they were good, he would be on a team. The thing with Okudah, injuries have derailed his career the entire time. Coming out of college, he had everything you'd ask for. He should have been the 3rd overall pick, but injuries have derailed him.
Well, even if he ends up signing here, I don't think he's getting locked to make the team. He's depth at first. He's going to compete for a job and see what happens. But yeah, he's definitely, if the Vikings do sign him, he's nowhere near a lock to make this roster.
No, but this total Kwesi move, like injury guy. I mean, it's very Marcus Davenport-esque. And if it pans out, he looks like a genius. If he doesn't, it's just like, all right. That's kind of what Jeffrey Okudah has done his whole career, but I would love it. It ain't going to cost much. His last contract with the Texans is about $4.5 million, and this one will be much cheaper because he played 6 games last year, 76 snaps on defense. So Jeffrey Okudah, sexy name. I would love it. I would love it. We could look like a genius, a la Sam Darnold.
Yeah, his 1 year where he actually played 15 games. I mean, he had 73 tackles, and I mean, there's some production there.
There is, but we'll see. Last bit of news is the Vikings have actually done their due diligence. They've actually checked out Joe Flacco. Is Joe Flacco the backup plan based off of whatever other plan they have?
He must be, because there's not much left. These guys keep getting sniped. We saw Cooper Rush get signed. Jameis Winston's visiting with the Giants today.
Hey,
so there's
Jameis Winston's not going to come here.
I hate that are out there.
He's never. Jameis Winston has never been even rumored to the Vikings.
Yeah, neither was Xavier Thomas. We signed him.
I don't know if that helps your case much.
There was didn't say we were interested.
Jameis Winston's a little bit bigger name, but if you want to play that game, I'll give it to you.
Well, you know, I mean, Flacco and Tannehill, two guys mentioned on Saturday as being Vikings potential backup options. It's fine. I mean, I don't want someone here who's going to take away snaps from J.J. McCarthy. I think I made that pretty clear. And Joe Flacco's not going to do that. He's clearly the backup, clearly the mentor,
Super Bowl winning champion.
Super Bowl winning champion. And I know you were really scared to face him last year when he came to U.S. Bank, and he was ass. He was complete cheeks. But he's fine for a backup. Well,
if he was good, he wouldn't be a backup, and I'm all for it. I think he might be either 39 or 40. Yeah. I mean, the fact that they actually checked him out, something tells me it's only a matter of time. I'm pinning it on Joe Flacco. We haven't heard anything about like Vikings are checking out Carson Wentz. I think it's gonna be Flacco, unless they got something up their sleeve.
Yeah, he's 40 years old. There was thoughts that maybe they're holding on for Kirk Cousins being released. That's not happening. So I think it's going to be like a Flacco, a Tannehill, or a Carson Wentz is probably what they're going to end up with. And either one of those it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody is overthinking the backup quarterback, Nick Mullins, Sean Mannion, I can't even think of the other. I mean, who gives a shit?
Well, you give a shit when they have to step on the field. That's when you give a shit.
But the Vikings clearly don't give a shit, because those are the backups. So, like, I mean, if anybody, there's nobody else out there. There's nobody.
Let's not forget. I mean, Joe Flacco, what he did with the Browns, 4-1 record,
beautiful,
balled out, got them in the playoffs. The dude was on fire at age 38. So maybe KOC, if he has to put Flacco in there, can unleash some of that magic.
Yeah, and the Colts sucked. So, like, I don't even put anything into that. So,
no, gross.
That is the biggest Vikings news. But for a Monday, a lot of news. And we appreciate the Vikings giving us news.
We appreciate that. We appreciate you guys hitting the subscribe button very, very much. Everybody who has done it so far. In our history of the show,
they probably regret it. They probably regret it.
Maybe they can always unsubscribe. Remember this: killing a dolphin in ancient Greece was considered sacrilegious and was punishable by death.